Hey everybody, Texas Stroker here, Lance's Performance Shop, LoneStarMopars.com. Kind of losing my voice, but we are at the end of the road here. We've showcased this drop light we picked up from Summit, we showcased the two Klein lights we got, and we showcased this Performance Tool one that, let's be honest, I picked up because it matches the color scheme of the Challenger. Now, what is this guy doing here? This is my old Worklight. I honestly thought it was dead. It's been through a lot, it served me well. I probably had it since I was 14 or 15. So I can't complain about the life cycle I've had. I can complain that it gets hot and it burns carpet, and you don't realize it's doing that until you smell it in most cases. But, and try as you may to position it to where it won't do that, it always seems to fall. And it's a deal. I honestly thought it was dead, but it is not. So we're going to start with it. Give it some time. It's working its magic. Oh yeah. So we got that thing on. That's probably similar to what a lot of you have. Unless you're still rocking the old style incandescent in a cage like this. But as you can see, where you would typically have a screw-in glass bulb, they've upgraded to LEDs now, and it's pretty amazing. So we're now going to have this one on full bright, little cell phone case Klein. We're going to turn on the other Klein, and lastly, we're going to hit the Performance tool. So best way I can know to test this for you, and I promise I will probably trip over an extension cord, a box, or the tripod itself. I'm going to stroll all the way to the other side of the shop. We're going to come back, look at these, see what we think. Alright, it looks like the camera has adjusted, and I've got to say, you're not seeing this right now. Above the workbench, I've got a couple of signs. It's a white insulation of the shop. We got a Chrysler power banner, filter regulator, the ceiling. The ceiling is bright white. It's the pure LED light. I'm loving it. I can see, actually, as I turn around, I could go to the darkest corner of the shop and see what I'm doing. It's a 30 by 40. That's impressive. I can read the plates on the duster. I can read the side stickers. I can see those the trans-dapt alternator brackets I've had for 4 years down there. So I'm not sure if it's a combination of them or one in particularly, but they are putting out some serious light. And I tell you what, I don't know how this is going to work because it is the new camera. I'm going to take you places you've never been. Alright, I am loving this. I told you what you could see. I've got this tripod adjusted, and let me show you what you've never seen. As we tilt it up a little bit past that, it'll slowly come into focus. We got some tools, an old comp cam sticker, some Spectra fittings, some dash plaques, some Mopar signage. Check this out though. We are now looking straight. Look how bright that is. The ceiling is where the majority of the light output is. I hope you realize that. It's going straight up, not like behind us. The ceiling is LED bright white, and it is amazing. I absolutely love it. I will bring you back down now. And you got to realize this is straight back behind. If you were here looking straight forward, this is what you would see. Because we typically have the camera pointed down. And these things are doing work, man. They're pretty impressive. So what I want to do now is we will take the Summit LED light out. That's still pretty solid. We're going to pull the Klein one. None of these are hot. I love it. We're going to take the other Klein, throw it in my pocket actually. That puts out so much light through my pocket. We're going to take this away, and let me try to hold all these somehow. Okay, I've kind of got them as low-key as I can make it. This is the old Worklight. Pure dark shop outside of the stuff that's on in my hand, which I'm pointing away as best I can. So this thing does work. I mean, it's humming. It's kind of awkward to position. It's already hot. I've got my thumb on the plastic, and I can confirm it is in fact hot. But right there, that's the workbench you're familiar with. Pretty cool setup, right? Although it's annoying, the vibration, the hum, and the heat. Off. Setting it down. So, now it's time, just because it's the easiest one for me to get to. Again, I'm trying to keep all the other lights away. This is the Klein 6 LED one. It's putting out, I would say, a little bit more light, but it doesn't fan as wide. Obviously, when I have these two side by side, you can see the differential there, so it's kind of just an exposure issue. But it's doing quite well. Now, this is max brightness. If I hit it again, we can turn the brightness down. That's pretty impressive that this thing can compete with that big one. So we're going to put it there. I've now got the Performance tool still going. This one does fan out really good. It's kind of more akin to the old school drop light I've got. Just the way that the beam pattern on it is, you kind of fan out a little bit more than, say, the other spotlights we picked up, if you will. I say spotlight in terms of like a specific location, not you know, the traditional old school spotlights. But this one's actually not too bad when it's in use. So we're going to set it down, and it's still cool to the touch. That one's actually still hot. It would be burning carpet very soon. I'm going to now grab the Klein puck lights. Good Lord. Like I said, this one is concentrated. I mean, that sucker is putting out light any specific location, and it's doing a great job. So while we can see great right in that circle of the Omega M, we have to kick it out over there, right? So that will be the downside with this one, but it's also its biggest strength. So like I said, there is a time and a place for each of these. We're going to turn it off now. And this bad boy that's got the light coming in, I want you to look at this. I've got it turned where the LEDs are pointing down and away from us, and we can still see, based on the light output it had. Okay. Yeah, this one's impressive, I've got to say. Now, keep in mind, it's going to be more difficult to use than any of these three. It's going to have advantages over this one, and it's actually a smaller form factor in a way, and slightly larger at the top. Again, pluses and minuses there. It is not hot. This is cool to the touch. I'm a big fan of that. Check it out. I really don't think you can go wrong with any of these. I will say this, though. This one has a 25-foot cord, and then, of course, it costs the most. I kind of, you know, we're at an awkward point where if I shut this off, I've got to stroll back through a dark shop. So we're just going to close the video out like this. This is new age technology. This is an LED drop light. It is not hot. It's basically the same thing that your grandpa would have in his shop with an incandescent bulb in it. If he's tired of that, if he's constantly cracking it, if his guard is off or rusted or missing or bent or something, this would be a fantastic gift. Upgrade the guy, all right? I have nothing bad to say about this one, in part because it comes with a 25-foot cord. When you factor the 25-foot cord in, plus the performance we're getting out of this, for $39, zero issues there. This one has it is the, I'd say, worst build quality, but when I turn it on, I can't really gripe too much. I mean, it's putting out pretty good light, and I'm happy with that. This one is very, very, sounds like it's International Mustang Day out there. This right here puts out a very specific pattern of light. It's going to be a concentrated beam, if you will. If we want to light up the M and the O, we can. If we want to light up the M, the O, and the P, you got to come up and condense it. So it's going to be, you can see the beam pattern perfectly. You know, it's kind of like it was a searchlight on a helicopter. It's going to have a time and a place that will be good, and I think I know where that's going to be, and it's going to be under the dash, stuck to the dash frame or the kick panel. This guy right here, I love it. It's a simple, clean form line. If I want to have this in my back pocket, front pocket, clip it on my belt, center console, glove box, anything is going to get the job done, and it puts out pretty dadgum impressive light spread, I've got to say, for what it is. This guy right here, I'm going to use it until I no longer can. So if I'm going to be doing body work, if I'm going to be sanding something down, painting something, this is going to be my guy. It takes some time, it gets hot, but it still puts out decent light. So it's old technology, but it still works. Downside with it, aside from like the worn mount points and hook, and the fact it's filthy, is simply that it gets hot. And the evolution here, still not hot. That's why we play the game, man. That's why we check this stuff out. I'm excited. I'm pretty dadgum excited. We're going to get good use out of that guy, and these three are going to come in handy while we rewire the dash. I will give this magnet on the Performance Tool one a chance, and then maybe we can, between the three, we should have great coverage, especially if you factor in either of these drop lights. So These two I specifically had in mind for the charger rewiring under the dash. I think it's going to be awesome. Then of course this one will be dedicated to the charger. This is dedicated to the Challenger. I think I'm going to take that one inside the house when I'm done, and just kind of keep it at the night light. If the power goes out, boom. This thing's easy to grab. It's a unique shape compared to one of these slimmer profile type of things, and I kind of like that for a bedside deal. I've had a blue one, sort of like an oval shaped one. That thing uses the weird like key fob batteries that are a pain in the butt to find anywhere. And it's been needing a replacement for a while, and I think I found it. So we'll see how they do. We'll report back once we've kind of used these 4 new lights and see what we think of them. If they outperform, underperform, if they're pieces of trash once you use them more than 10 minutes. All that remains to be seen. We're going to figure it out. That said, I'm going to stroll back over there, kick the shop lights on, and be done with this. But just with this guy on, let me go ahead and give you this one. Just with our drop light, if we come up to the top, that's impressive. That's a good, we don't have too tall of a roof in here. But basically, if you were inside the car or in the engine bay, that's going to be a greater distance that you saw there. So this will get the job done as a drop light. That is confirmed. We're going to see these in tight quarters. Try this one in tight quarters. Report back. See what we think. If you like any of these, if you hate them, if you have experience with them, if you still prefer the old style incandescents with the shield removed, leave a comment down below. Let us know. Main thing here is to help people out. I brought all these in. I do have plans for all of them so I could sort of justify it. There was one I found after the fact. It wasn't listed on the Channel Lock site when I was checking, but apparently it's available only at like Do It Best hardware stores. It's kind of like, I used to have a yellow one that I loved, but that thing was like quartz and it got hellaciously hot. I mean, it would like, the face guard here would scald you hot. And it was awesome though. And it would clip. The clips kind of wore out. They were kind of like a spring vice grip style. Channel Lock seems to have something like that that is LED. And it stores like this. My fingers facing you would be LED lights, and it kind of opens up. And then this part here that would be open has LED shining down, and then these 2 doors that my fingers are adjustable, you know, side to side, and you can kind of concentrate light. I think that was a pretty good price, and it would be something I would be less likely to use for automotive stuff. But if we were ever, say, outside at night having to repair a fence, that thing would be awesome. So if we ever get the ball rolling here, that is something that is on my radar. Like I said, all of these are kind of justified expenses, and they will have a purpose they serve, and then they will have a long-term goal like Challenger, Charger, so on and so forth, stay in the shop, nightlight, if you will. But there is, if you need a bigger job site light, sort of like you'd see from DeWalt or something, there's a cool looking one from Channel Lock I would love to check out sometime. But that remains to be seen. It's in the future. I had fun with this. I hope you did too. Hopefully this gives you an idea of what these things are capable of. I think they all have their proper place. And ultimately what would set them apart, lifespan and durability, which sadly when we just get them and open them, we can only go by an initial impression. But I've given you my honest thoughts, and hopefully it helps you out. Like I said, if you have experience with any of these, by all means comment down below. And ultimate goal, help people out. If you think I'm an idiot for buying any of these, tell me, but make sure you say why, because otherwise you're just being a jerk. If you say why, then you're actually providing useful information, and I consider that a service. So I'll take it. But LoneStarMopars.com is a website. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, like the Facebook page. You can also find us on Instagram, and we got some other cool things coming your way. So stay tuned, and I will catch you back here for more action from the shop.